Alright, so what I have in my hands right here are my 3 Yu-Gi-Oh decks. Spirit Charmers, Trap Tricks, and Live Twin Shadow. And before you say, well, those are Pokemon cards, not Yu-Gi-Oh cards. You get the Pokemon through deck box. Open the box. Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Open the box. Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So if people want to send some hate or whatever, saying, well, those are Yu-Gi-Oh cards, those are Pokemon cards. Again, I just have Pokemon themed deck boxes for these cards because they're cheap and they look nice, you know? So I figured, you know what, why not buy them? Well, I bought this one at GameStop for like a little more than $5, which again, still pretty cheap for a deck box. And this one, Flower Boy gave to me because I needed a deck box for my Trap Tricks deck, and I had a deck box, so they're like, you know what, why not? So they're like, you can have it. Obviously, I took it, and then this, my Spirit Charmer deck. Yeah, I kind of gotta get another deck box for as well. But a better deck box. But yeah, why am I bringing up my Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Well, I did say I was gonna do a Yu-Gi-Oh video as well. This is another one that's different from what I normally do, because normally whenever I do a Yu-Gi-Oh video, it's usually like a Master Duel video. And don't worry, I will be hopping on Master Duel in this video. I will be, just not the way you think I would be. But yeah, the reason why I'm bringing up Yu-Gi-Oh is because, you know, it's nice to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh on occasion without, you know, having to actually play the game. But I will, like, when this video is uploaded, I will be live on Twitch. Obviously, Shimu Rimu is the Twitch channel name, but if you don't want to watch live on Twitch, I will have the VOD up within sometime this week. So if you don't want to watch live on Twitch, that's fine. You can watch the VOD whenever I upload it. So yeah. But it's hard to think I've been collecting these cards for like 3 years at this point. And my Live Twin Shadow deck took me almost 2 to complete to its fullest. The first deck I actually did complete was actually the Trap Tricks deck. And then I added some more stuff to the Trap Tricks deck. Well, I namely added like one card, and that's Zeus, because I didn't have Zeus. So like, and that starter kit that had the XZs and the Synchro, that starter kit thing, I bought one of those, and when I bought it, it came with a Zeus. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add the Zeus to my extra deck for my Trap Tricks deck. Because, again, XZ monsters. So, yeah. I figured, you know what? Why not? And that's where Master Duel comes in, and okay, so here we are on my Master Duel account. I'm like 510 or so gems away from being able to get this bundle. So, yeah. Getting close. What secret pack? Alright. Yeah, nothing really too special to check on when it comes to the secret packs. So we're gonna go to the decks. Now, you're gonna find that I did shorten my deck, the amount of decks I have, by a few because I decided to drop Dogmatica. I never even bothered using Dogmatica, so I never did. I got rid of Gusto Wind Witch because, yeah, wasn't really going to use that either. And, yeah. You can see I've still clearly got my Witchcrafter deck, which has remained untouched for quite literally basically forever. Since I added the Witchcrafter Confusion Confession and the Vice Madam to the extra, like, this Witchcrafter deck has remained untouched since I added this and this to it. That's why this is at the very bottom, the last one listed. And this is when, you know, things actually get real interesting. I also realized I put my Trap Tricks deck in my Live Twin Shadow box. The Evolution deck box. I put the Live Twin Shadow deck in. So I'm gonna go ahead and quickly fix it. But yeah. This is why why I hopped on Master Duel. So you're gonna find that in Master Duel, this is my extra deck I have for the Trap Tricks monsters. One Rafflesia, because only really need one. One Alomaris. One Pinguicula. Those are all the XZ monsters I have in the extra deck for my Trap Tricks deck. One Sarah. One Calaria. And one Adipus. But going to my physical deck, the deck I have with the actual cards, the one Rafflesia, of course, the one Pinguicula, yep, the one Alomaris, yep, but two Sarah, not just one, but two. And if you go into the cards to craft deck I have, which again not really a deck but just to keep track of what cards I need to craft, I already have a Sarah, but again the reason why it's still in here, same with Call by the Grave, is because I have two in the decks. So yeah, that's why Sarah and Call by the Grave, while like I have them in the cards to craft, because I'll need a second copy. So two Sarah, one Adipus, one Calaria, and that's all I have in the physical, in the Master Duel version of this deck. But go back to my physical deck. I have Zeus in it, which, coming back in here, I removed Zeus. Whoops. Zeus right there. I don't have this in my Master Duel deck yet, obviously, but physically, I do have it. And that's my extra deck for that's the extra deck for the Trap Tricks deck. And then, we go into the main deck. Gonna find 3 Mantis. Got 1, 2, 3. In the physical deck, I have 3 Mantis. So, yep, on that. Master Duel got 2 Pudica. Yes, I do. And physically, I have 2 Pudicas. And Master Duel, 2 Arachnocampas. Physically, I have 2 of them. So that checks out. And then 2 Myrmelio in Master Duel. 2 Myrmelios physically. That checks out. 2 Parallel Exceeds in Master Duel. I have 2 Parallel Exceeds physically. Straighten the deck up. Master Duel. Got 2 Nepenthes. Physically, I have 2 Nepenthes. Okay, in Master Duel, I have 1 Genlisi, even though I swear I had a second one. So let me just go ahead and generate that. And the reason why I needed a second Genlisi in the deck is because physically I have 2 Genlisis in the deck. So that checks out. Master Duel got 2 Vesiculos. Physically, I have 2 Vesiculo. So that checks out. 2 Dionea in Master Duel. 2 Dionea physically. That checks out. 1 Atrax in Master Duel. 1 physically. So that checks out. And this isn't a Trap Tricks monster, but again, neither is Parallel Exceed. But this is a Trap Tricks monster. But the reason I have this card in the deck is just so if I didn't have like any Trap Tricks monsters in my hand or anything that could let me get a Trap Tricks monster, I could special summon it from my hand by discarding a card. And that is the Bellstar the Black Witch. Obviously, I have 1 of Master Duel. Got a copy of it physically. And in Master Duel, I've got 2 Ash Blossoms. 2 of them. But when it comes to the physical cards in this deck, I have 1 Ash Blossom. However, if I wanted to add a second Ash Blossom, I could just take 1 from my Live Twin Shadow deck and just add it to the deck before, you know, I went somewhere and use the deck. So, yeah, other than that, like, that's the main deck monsters. For the spells, 1 Trap Tantalizing 2 in the Master Duel. I have 1 physically, so that checks out. 2 Trap Trip Gardens in Master Duel. However, I only have 1 physically, so I will need to get another copy of it at some point. One copy of Called by the Grave. However, again, I do plan on crafting a second one for the deck in Master Duel, and I do have 2 other copies of the physical card as well, which I can literally just add 1 to the deck from my Live Twin Channel deck. So yeah, basically that just even physically compared to Master Duel, like it's still accurate when it comes to that for now at least. And then Master Duel got 1 Raigeki. Physically, I have a Raigeki in the deck, so that checks out. Harpy's Feather Duster. I have it in the deck. In Master Duel, I have it physically as well. Cause Feather Duster and Raigeki came in the Beware of Trap Trick structure deck together. So yeah. I forgot I have Swords of Revealing Light in the deck, but in Master Duel, but I don't have it. I mean, I have it physically. I just forgot where I put it. I'll have to get it. Probably looking through my big binder full of cards in order to find it. But yeah, I have it in the deck in Master Duel, so I'm gonna be adding it physically as well. And then Monster Reborn, obviously 1 in Master Duel. I got it physically, so that checks out, and that's all the spells for the Trap Tricks deck. And now we move on to the namesake of the deck, the Traps. Which I have no Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmares in the... Huh. I'm missing some stuff. I never realized I was missing stuff in this deck. With how much I've been using it, especially lately. A couple of days ago, I got back to up to gold 5 using only the Trap Tricks deck. I never realized there was some stuff I was missing in it. But yeah, so I gotta add 2 Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmares to this. Which I don't remember taking out of the deck at all. Weird. But yeah, I have 2 Terrifying Trap Hole Nightmares in the deck, so there's that. Two Bottomless Trap Holes in Master Duel. I've got 2 on the physical deck, so that checks out. Void Trap Hole, 2 in the Master Duel deck, 2 in the physical deck. We're good there. 2 just plain old Trap Holes in Master Duel, 2 plain Trap Holes in the physical deck. We're good. Okay, physically I have 2 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmares, but now I've got 2 in the Master Duel deck. Good. So we're good there. Two Floodgate Trap Holes on the Master Duel deck. 2 physically. It checks out. one trap trick in the extra deck, in the Master Duel deck, one in the physical deck, we're good. Even though I never really used the trap card, so I really just have it in there just because it came in the structure deck, so I just kind of left it in, I guess. One trap Holotea in Master Duel, one physically. So that checks out. One single evenly matched in Master Duel, one physically because it also came in the structure deck. So that's good. And then one skill drain in Master Duel, one in the physical deck. So we're good. And when physically, that's all that's included in the deck physically. But you do see that there's also two infinite imperms. I do in the deck, which I don't have any in the physical deck. But again, I could just take the two imperms from my Live Twin Shadow deck and just put them in the deck. And there we go. And yeah, that's my Trap Tricks deck right there. Now I'm going to do my Live Twin Shadow deck. Now, obviously, you can see I got Twin Shadow made right here. And I also have my Live Twin Snake Eye deck as well, which I also do plan on, like, building as well at some point. And the Live Twin stuff I could just bring from here and put in this deck if I wanted to use this one instead of this. So yeah. But I did add some extra stuff to this deck. But obviously first, we're gonna start with the extra deck. So let me just sort this stuff out. Separate everything. Alright. So starting with the extra deck. We got 3 Evil Twin Kisa kills physically. 1, 2, 3 in Master Duel. Physically, got 2 Evil Twin Lil Laws. 1 and 2 in Master Duel. That's correct. Physically, we got 1 Evil Twin's Trouble Sunny. There's our one of. And that's all the Link monsters I have in the deck. The red in the extra deck. The rest are Shadow Fusion monsters. So physically in the deck, I've got 2 L Shadow Windows. 1, 2. Need to craft these. Physically, I've got 1 L Shadow Construct. And here she is. Have to craft her. 1 L Shadow Chicken Naga, or whatever the fuck you pronounce it. Here she is, right here. 1 L Shadow App Cologne. Need to craft her. 1 L Shadow Grista. Here she is. A single L Shadow Here she is. And then one single El Shaddai Wendigo. Here she is. That's the extra deck for the Live Twin Shadow. So now we move on to the main deck monsters. So got 3 Live Twin Kisa kills. Physically. Just 3 in Master Duel. 3 Live Twin Lil Oz physically. 3 in Master Duel. A single copy of Evil Twins Kisa Kill and Lila. Here it is. We're good. 2 Live Twin Kisa Kill Frost. Here's 2 of them. A single Live Twin Lila Treat. Here she is. 1 Shadow Falco. Here it is. 2 Shadow Dragons. 1, 2. 2 Shadow Squamatas. There's 2. Let me straighten these up. And 2 Shadow Beast. 1, 2. And then we've got 2 Ash Blossoms in the deck. 1, 2. Then 1 copy of Nail Shadow Ariel. Here she is. Then we got 1 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Here she is. Right here. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. The one of. Then we got 1 of Wind the Wind Charmer. Here she is. Then 1 of Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Wherever she is. There she is. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. Again, I have the alt art of Ghost Reaper and Ghost Sister. So, yeah. The alt arts aren't in Master Duel yet. But I have the alt arts, which is why it's taken me a bit of time to... Yeah. But yeah, that's my 1 of Ghost Reaper. And then we got 1 of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. She's right here. And then we got 1 of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Right here. 1 of Winda, Priestess of Gusto. Wherever she is. I added her to the deck. I added Winda, Priestess of Gusto, Winda to the deck. What? But then again, I was like trying to rebuild this and like. Yeah, I knew I put her in the deck. But okay. And then my 1 of Spiritual Beast Tamer Winda. Here she is. And then 1 of Familiar Possessed Wind. There she is. And the reason why I have these Wind and Winda variants is because they're basically just fusion fodder for Wendigo if I needed Wendigo. Otherwise, yeah, they're basically like dead cards otherwise. But, again, the fusion fodder pretty much. But yeah, that wraps up the main deck monsters. And now we move on to the extra deck. Well, not not the extra deck. I already did I started with the extra deck. Now we move on to the spells and the spells. I have 2 Little Owl Wraps and Master Duel. However, for some reason in the deck, I have 1 Little Owl Wrap in the physical deck. I'll have to look for. I know I have. I'm pretty sure I have a second copy somewhere, so I will be looking for it after this video. But just know, I do have 2. I will have 2 in this deck. Physically, I have 2 Live Twin Sunny Snitch in the deck. Here they are. There's 2. Physically in the deck, I have 2 Secret Passwords. But in Master Duel, I've only got 1 made so far. I will be making a second copy at some point. Physically, I have 2 El Shadow Fusions in the deck. Here's both of them. I have 1 Live Twin Home in the deck. And here it is. 1 single Live Twin channel. Because I almost never really use this field spell, so 1's really all you need, and here it is. And then 2 Called by the Graves physically, but again, I need to craft the second one, so I'm working on that. My 1 of Change of Heart, my absolute favorite spell card ever. Change of Heart, and here it is. 1 Shadow Fusion. Here it is. And then we've got 1 Monster Reborn, and there it is. And finally, for the Live Twin Shadow deck, we move on to the trap cards. Physically, I have 2 Evil Twin Challenge. 1, 2. Physically, I have 2 Evil Twin Presents. 1, 2. 2 Evil Twin GG Easies physically. 1 and 2. Then I have 1 single Boo Boo game in the deck. And here it is in Master Duel. 2 Shadow Cores physically. 1, 2. And then 2 Infinite Impermanence, which are right here. That's the Live Twin Shadow deck. And everything that's in it. There's my deck box. And now it's time I head back to me show myself on camera. I also forgot to mention that there are a couple other cards I'm planning on adding to this deck as well. One of them being Ghost Mourner. I don't have it physically yet, And Red Blossoms from Underroot. I don't have her yet either, but I do plan on getting them both at some point. However, I'm pretty sure Red Blossoms from Underroot is going to be a pretty expensive card. So, I will have to look on eBay or whatever to see if I can find one cheap. Probably not. And if I do, it'll be in Japanese, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully I can find. I mean, Ghost Mourner I can find no problem, but in English. But this is going to be a bit of an issue. But yeah, I forgot to mention that. But yeah, I'm coming back on the camera. Alright, now, we go ahead and move on to the Spirit Charmers deck. Now, about like a year ago or something like that, around that time, like, I spent around like $37, $38 just trying to complete this deck. And you know what? Still not finished with it yet. I've still got to get Hida the Fire Channeler and an English version of this one, Area the Water Channeler. I know I get Hida and Area in English, and then the deck will be complete. But yeah, a long time ago, I spent like almost, like, again, $38 on this deck. It took me about 2 weeks to make that video because the reason it took 2 weeks to make the video is because I ordered 3 copies of Win the Wind Channeler, which was $1.07, which unfortunately those never came in. So I requested a refund. Again, I don't blame the seller. Even to this day, I still don't blame the seller for that. It's the shipping company's fault. They never came in. But when I did get the refund, I did buy a single copy of Win the Wind Channeler, and it is in this deck. So thankfully, I still ended up getting the card I wanted. But again, there's still some complications for it, and that's why it took so long for the video to come out when I made it. But yeah, again, it was kind of a costly video to make. It had some complications, but at the end, it was worth it because I've been wanting to make this deck for a couple of years, and now I'm able to do it. And thankfully, when we hop into Master Duel, here we are in my Spirit Charmers deck in Master Duel. Now, again, I'm going to go do the same thing I did. Start with the extra deck, then go to the main deck monsters, then the spells, and then the traps. But, yep. Do all that. Whoops. And then that'd be pretty much it. So, starting with the extra deck. In Master Duel, I have 2 copies of the Wind Charmer Verdant. However, physically, I have 1 copy. So, I'm going to need to buy another copy of that. In Master Duel, I have 2 copies of Lena the Light Charmer Lustrous. However, physically, I only have 1 copy, so I am going to need to buy another copy of that as well. In Master Duel, I have 2 copies of Area the Water Charmer Gentle. However, 1 physically, so I will need to get another one of her. I have 2 copies of Hida the Fire Charmer Ablaze in Master Duel, but 1 copy physically. Asa the Earth Charmer, immovable, 2 copies in Master Duel. However, 1 physically. So I need to get another one. I need to get another one of the Link Monster variants. And then, also in the extra deck, we have Nightmare Phoenix. Physically. But I need to add it in Master Duel as well. It is a Link monster. So, and thankfully, I do have the craft points to make this. So, I'm good. And then, also got a Nightmare Unicorn in the extra deck. It's a 1 of. So, add Nightmare Unicorn. And then that's my extra deck for Spirit Charmers. Now we go into the main deck monsters. In the main deck, I have 2 familiar possessed winds. So let me go ahead, add. So I get 2 of her. Again, physically, I have both arts. I have the original art and I have the alt art for the every familiar possessed variant of them. Now, well, I have 2 familiar possessed Lunas. So, add 2, again, original art and alt art. Same with Area, 2 copies of her, original and alt arts. So, add. With familiar possessed Tina, again, alt art and original art. And then last of the familiar possessed variants, Asa. Both I have 2 copies. Original and alt art. And now we get into the Channeler variants. Win the Wind Channeler. I have 1 copy of her. Win the Wind Charmer. I have 1 copy of her as well. Because you only really need like 1 copy. And here she is. Win the Wind Charmer. Lena the Light Charmer. 1 copy of her. There she is. Area the Water Charmer. 1 copy of her. Here she is. 1 single copy of Hida the Fire Charmer. There she is. And 1 single copy of Asa the Earth Charmer. There she is. And again, physically, I don't. I mean, physically, I do have this card, but I don't have it in English. It's gonna be Area the Water Channeler. So, I'm gonna need to add her to the deck. I'm gonna put Channeler just because. Have one area, and again, I don't have this card physically, so, but Adihita, and this card I actually do have physically. Got one copy of Asa the Earth Channeler, so add her. Fairy Tale Sleeper. I have 2 copies of Sleeper in this deck. So I need to craft a second copy. There we go. Ranryu, which I have right here. 1 copy. Because you can only really control 1 copy. Gigabyte, got 1 copy. There it is. Again, 1 copy, because you can only control 1. Control 1 copy of Inari Fire. There it is. 1 of. Nefarious Archfiend. Again, 1 copy. There it is. Awakening of the Possessed Reisen Ryu. 1 copy. There it is. Awakening of the Possessed Gigabyte. Got 1 copy of that. There it is. Awakening of the Possessed Greater Inari Fire. 1 copy. There it is. Yeah, except the familiar, basically pretty much everything except the familiar possessed versions of the monsters. It's 1 of. Well, Awakening of the Possessed Nefarious Archfiend, 1 copy, and there it is. Effect Veiler, got 1 copy, there it is. Witchcrafter Golem Aruru. There she is. Dark Doriado. There she is. Or, yeah, it's a she. Okay. Dark Dorado. Got 1 Fairy Tale Rella. There it is. 1 Denko Seka. Whatever. There she is. 1 Fairy Tale Luna. There she is. 1 Honest, which I need to add to the deck. Because, you know, light support. And Honest just basically just grants extra attack points. And then rounding off the main deck monsters, we got Witch of the Black Forest, which right here. And with that, that's the main deck monsters. Now we move on to the spells. So first up in the spells, we got Spirit Charmers. It's a UR, so I don't have it made yet. But I have one copy in the deck. Awakening of the Possessed. It's a one of, and here it is. Raigeki. Obviously, I've got it. Came in the structure deck. Harpy's Feather Duster. Got it. One copy of each, by the way. Spellbook of Knowledge. Right there. Got it. One copy. Grand Spiritual Art Ichiran. Got one copy. Here it is. Secret Village of Spellcasters. Unfortunately, it's banned in Master Duel, so I couldn't add it. So I instead, in place of it, put Triple Tactics Talent. And there was a card I didn't need to craft because you get in a bundle that I have to pay 750 gems for. So you basically get a free UR, which you can't dismantle, unfortunately. But, you know, at least you get a copy of it. Then got Twin Twisters. One copy of that. And then Book of Eclipse. Which, honestly, I think I'm going to remove from the deck, because I really don't need it. Now that I'm looking at the deck, the cards, I don't really need Book of Eclipse. So, with that, that's all the spells. And finally, the trap cards. Possessed Partnerships. It's an SR, got one copy of it physically, one in Master Duel. Unpossessed. Which is right here, one copy of that physically, one in Master Duel. There we go. Spiritual Wind Art Miyabi. One copy of that physically, one in Master Duel. Because wind support. Spiritual Water Art Aoi. One copy of it physically, one in Master Duel. Because it's water support. Gonna need that. Spiritual Fire Art Kurenai. One copy Master Duel, one physically, fire support. So we gotta have it. Then Spiritual Earth Art Kuragane. One Master Duel, one physically, earth support. And then we have Magician's Circle. I'm actually going to dismantle Book of Eclipse. I don't think I have Magician's Circle crafted, though. I do have it crafted. Why did I take it out? Weird. Oh well. I have it in the deck now. And then we have Metaverse. One copy physically, but I need to craft it in Master Duel. One solemn warning. There it is. One copy physically, one in Master Duel. And then we have one dimensional barrier. There it is. And with that, that's going to be what I plan to do with my Spirit Charmer deck. And that's actually the video. Now, I am going to hold off from Master Duel stream until maybe tomorrow, because again, this video did take a bit longer to make than I expected it to. So, sorry about that, but tomorrow I'll most likely stream Master Duel, because the event's going on, so I want to get this deck finished, which I'm 8 cards away from doing, and they're all URs. But yeah, that's going to be the video. I hope you enjoyed. And again, let me know if you want like something else, or if I can improve on something. And yeah, again, thanks for watching. Take care.